ending 31st March 2021. Now, this is one area where we had received a lot of representations, not only from banks, but also from the real sector borrowers. They were saying that the earlier deferment of interest which RBI had permitted, that meant that the entire interest component, the entire accumulated interest during the 3 months moratorium had to be sort of paid back to the bank in one shot. Obviously, it was posing problems in cash flow management for the various borrowers, for the various borrowing entities. So taking this into account, we have now decided that it will be converted into, the deferment of the working capital during this 6 months period. They will be converted into a funded interest term loan, which will be fully repaid during the course of the current year, that is during the next few months, and the payment shall be completed by 31st March. This will provide considerable amount of ease, and this will facilitate easier cash flow management by the borrowing entities. In view of the current difficulty in raising resources from capital markets, the group exposure limit of banks is being increased from 25% to 30% of eligible capital base for enabling the corporates to meet their funding requirement from banks. The increased limit will be applicable up to June 30th, 2021. The last set of measures, they relate to easing the financial constraints faced by the state government, and there is one announcement. In order to ease the bond redemption pressure on the states, it has been decided to relax the rules governing the withdrawal from the Consolidated Sinking Fund, that is CSF, while at the same time ensuring that depletion of fund balance is done prudently. Together with the normally permissible withdrawal, this measure will enable the states to meet about 45% of the redemptions of their market borrowings which are due in the current year 2021. Detailed guidelines for all the above announcements will be issued separately. I now come to my concluding remarks. I would like to say that central banks are typically seen as conservative institutions, yet when the tide turns and all the chips are down, it is to the central banks that the world turns for support, and this is all over the world, almost in every country, and this is visible in the action being taken by the various central banks across the world. And you would have noticed in India also the RBI is trying to take necessary measures, and we are, whatever maximum measures we are able to undertake, the RBI is at the forefront and is taking the measures. Going forward, as I have said, we will continue to be vigilant, and we will take whatever measures are necessary to meet the COVID-related challenges which are ahead of us. As I have stated earlier, the RBI will continue to remain vigilant and in battle readiness to use all its instruments and even fashion new ones, as recent experience has demonstrated, to address the dynamics of the unknown future. The goal, as I have enunciated earlier, are: number one, to keep the financial system and financial markets sound, liquid, and smoothly functioning. Number two, to ensure access to finance to all, especially those that tend to get excluded by the financial markets. And three, and very important, to preserve financial stability. It shall be our endeavor that RBI's actions and stance contribute to laying the foundations for a better tomorrow in India. Today's trials may be traumatic, but together we shall triumph. I would like to conclude on this optimistic note. Thank you very much for your patience.
ரிசர்வ் வங்கி ஆளுநர் சக்திகாந்த தாஸ் செய்தியாளர்களை சந்தித்த நேரலை காட்சிகளை பார்த்தோம். பல்வேறு அம்சம் சார்ந்த விஷயங்களை